Warning: before attempting any recommendation herein, at all times follow all safety instructions provided by the manufacturer. Contact the manufacturer if in doubt. Obtain assistance from a qualified professional. Use the recommendations herein at your own risk, with no guarantees whatsoever. Warning: altering a product may void the product's warranty, prevent the product from being returned to the vendor or manufacturer, adversely affect the product's suitability in regard to its intended use, render the product unsafe, resulting in injury during or after the alteration. Hi folks, my name is Eric, and I've put a video together, actually a couple of videos, to talk a bit about building a lifetime 8 by 7.5 foot shed. And I did this because I figured there's probably a few people out there that after you get going with this shed and you're putting it together, it would be really nice if you had a few tips to help you along the way. So the first thing is the shed has a booklet that comes with it of instructions, and in the booklet are a number of links that you can use. It's like a QR code, so if you have a QR code reader on your iPhone or what have you, you can visit their website and watch some of these videos. So videos are nice, and I admit I used a few of them to help me out with part of the build, but there weren't enough videos as far as I was concerned. There were a couple steps that I felt really needed to have some additional explanation, just how to make everything go together nicely. So just as an overview of this shed, as far as the amount of time it took me to build it, I would estimate it at roughly 3 good days. So you can think about a long weekend where if you're not doing too much, and the other important thing I'll mention right up front is having somebody to help you, preferably 2 people even if you can find them, but 1 person for sure, 1 extra person for sure, really goes a long way. Now, the first part of the build where you're just doing some of the individual pieces, like whether it's the door, the gables, for example, those pieces you can do by yourself. And I recommend you just take some time in a garage. If you have a flat surface to work on, that's really where you want to do those pieces and get them ready to go, so that when your shed, the other parts are, you want to put them together, those bits and pieces that required some pre-installation sort of assembly, those are already done, they're ready to go. Okay, so a few things about the shed. You're going to want a few tools that aren't necessarily mentioned, a few extra pieces, bits and pieces. They do come, the boxes should contain a few pieces of wood to help you do things like shimming and just basically blocking underneath the base when you're putting the walls together. I'd recommend if you've built a wooden platform and you have some scrap wood, say just laying around, use the scrap wood as much as you can to help block the shed up. You're going to need more wood that to block things up than what just comes in the kit. So there's 1 tip for you. What else we got here? So it's pretty laborious, I'm not going to lie. This was a big effort for me, and yeah, so just be ready for that. You've been warned. Now, your surface. The surface you're going to put your shed on and install your shed. Perfectly level. I'm not kidding you. It has to literally be perfectly level, and not only that, it all has to be in plane with itself. So if you have one corner that's like up here and the other corner's down there or something, guaranteed you're going to have issues when you have your shed put together, and particularly towards the later stages of the build, because it's not so bad at first when you're just putting up a few walls, but as the whole thing kind of comes together, you're going to find that pieces just really don't fit together that well. There's a lot of issues with just getting the parts to kind of align properly with each other. There's lots of pieces that are interlocking, which is nice. They've pretty much made it idiot-proof. I hate to use that euphemism, but we'll call it what it is. It has to be level, though. The surface has to be level. That's very important. Also, for the blocking that you use to help you with the wall installation, make sure you take the blocks out after you've put each of the wall pieces in place and they've snapped in place. And as you're screwing the parts of the wall together, if you have left the blocks in and everything's kind of, again, like what I'm saying about out of plane with each other, you're going to find that yes, your walls may screw together, but then they're all going to be misaligned. So again, 3-4 hours later, when you're at that step of, say, putting the roof on and everything's out of alignment, that's when you're going to run into problems. So again, just something to be aware of. A box cutter. Box cutter is going to be your best friend next to your very best friend, or friends I should say, who are there to help you. But your box cutter is going to be an invaluable tool for this job. I found it just when I was doing parts of the installation that I had to shave a few pieces off here and there just to kind of trim things up a little bit. Maybe there's some extra plastic from the factory that wasn't necessarily discarded at the time it was built. So definitely have a box cutter. Cannot stress that enough. You're going to find probably 5 or 6 more uses than I did for it during this this build process. You're going to be using a mallet to tap some of the pieces together. There's no way around this. The pieces just trying to put them in by brute force. The mallet's going to really help you to kind of knock some of the pieces in. But what you want to make sure, and you'll see in the video in a little bit, that I use a block of wood whenever I'm tapping pieces together. It just helps to kind of distribute the force from the mallet with the blows, and it'll prevent things like cracking and just warpage of your plastic pieces. Okay. So, what else we got? I just wrote myself a little list a little while ago, so again, bear with me here. I think that's pretty much it for now. And what you're going to find now in the next couple videos when you're watching is a few more tips will come up along the way that hopefully you're going to be able to put to use. And the big thing here, folks, is take these lessons for what they're worth. Your installation may differ. I'm not guaranteeing that any of the instructions here are going to be of any benefit to you, but I hope they will be to some extent. So your particular shed may go together a little differently, but for those that have a similar type shed where the installation assembly process kind of thing is similar, hopefully some of this instruction will help. So that being said, I'll cut over now to another part of the video basically where I'm outside and with the help of my family putting this shed together.